Hey you guys, Desmond here,
And Krisha.
and welcome back to the channel. And today we are here to discuss RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 10, Episode 7. We're having a
Ooh,
wickedly good time this week. But before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We have a goal of 1,000 subscribers, and the only way we can reach it is if you hit that little button. So go ahead. We'll love you forever. So, Miss Krisha, what did you think of this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars?
This was kind of cute. You know, there's not a lot of drama going on right now. I don't know. I think the only thing that really just kind of has me on pins and needles right now is how are they going to do? How are they understanding the challenge, I guess?
Yeah, because I looked at it a little differently, but we'll talk about that. But I really love this episode. What was it, Denali, who said, I feel very homosexual. Like, this episode is very homosexual. Like, the show's already homosexual, but this episode was in particularly very homosexual. Okay?
Okay, look, because, look, the bi panic was there today.
So let's jump into it. Now, we've already discussed our thoughts on their entrance looks, but we can now discuss which one of these six was our favorite. So, Krisha, out of these six amazing queens for this bracket, who had your favorite look?
You know, my favorite look, I'm probably gonna say was Denali.
Denali's a really good one. The ice skates looks great. I think I'm going to go with Diabetes for me. But yeah, bracket 2 consists of Denali, Acid Betty, Alyssa Hunter, Cuckoo, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, Diabetes, and Ginger Minge. Now let me say this. I am so sick of seeing the hate that Ginger Minge is getting. I love me some Ginger Minge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all for her being back for a fourth time. You know, if we're going to be honest, I thought she should have won Season 7. I've said this multiple times. I think she should have won Season 7. If they would have just gave her the crown then, maybe we wouldn't be seeing her for the fourth time, okay? But I enjoy Miss Ginger Minge. And it hurts my heart seeing all the hate for Ginger. I'm like, but she's a good drag queen. She's entertaining. And she makes good TV. So I'm going to need the folks to chill out on Miss Ginger Minge just a little bit. Just a little bit, okay? So RuPaul goes over he has Michelle Visage go over the rules for this season, saying that there's going to be 3 weeks. Nobody's going to go home. Each week there's going to be a top 2. They're going to get 2 points each. They're going to lip sync. They get a $10,000 tip and an extra point. And of course, there's the 4 other points for the most valuable queen, which they don't know about that till the end. But you know, they're going to give it to whoever they want to. Yada yada. We've been through this 2 times now. So we're back in the workroom, where our queens enter the Tournament of All-Stars. So for this week's Maxi Challenge, RuPaul said that they will have to design a look inspired by Wicked. Now, they have to pair up in teams. They have to have a good witch and a bad witch, but they don't want to straight up copy from Wicked. They want their own original stories. And you have to come up with background stories for your good and bad witches. So the queens come back in the workroom. They're getting their stuff together. And we're already starting to see some relationships forming. First we see Diabetes and Alyssa Hunter talk about their time on Season 14, where they didn't quite get along. But it looks like some growth has happened. It looks like they're on the same page now.
Mm-hmm.
We see Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Acid Betty. And see their close relationship. And it was so sweet to hear that when Cuckoo was going through her cancer struggle, that Acid Betty was there through the whole situation, was one of the first ones to check on her. And I thought that was so sweet, because you wouldn't expect that from Acid. So to know that there's that cute little person in there, I love it.
I mean, not every hard person has like a hard interior, hard exterior, and that's usually just because of trauma.
I agree wholeheartedly.
But sometimes they're a softie. Not
And
everybody wears their heart on their sleeve.
Yeah, and I remember Cynthia sharing this story on one of her interviews many years ago. And I was like, look at Acid. I'm glad Acid's back. I'm a little irritated of her placement this week, but we will talk. So we also saw that Alyssa and Cynthia Lee has a relationship there, both from Puerto Rico, both in the same drag family. So we got several alliances going. Well, I wouldn't say alliances just yet. And then
several starts of relationships.
The relationships are forming. And honestly, this one's shocked me the most. Ginger Minge and Diabetti. I didn't see them two clicking up the way they did.
Right.
But I love the way that they were talking shit in the corner. When she was like, hey, Alyssa, did you bring your money gun? Oh, then we have nothing to worry about.
Good grief.
Oh, I thought that was funny. So they get out of drag, and they go ahead and they start getting into groups. They say why they want to be with this person, why they don't want to be with that person. And they end up going to get their materials. So the teams ended up being Acid Betty and Denali, Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Alyssa Hunter, and Diabetti and Ginger Minge. Now, out of these 6 queens, who would you want to have been paired with?
If I'm going for somebody that I'm diametrically opposed to, then not that I don't like this queen, but it would have been probably Diabetti or Acid Betty, just because they would have been the exact opposite of what I would have went for.
Now, I would have went for one of them too as well, but for different reasons. They can suck. Now, I'm in the process of learning, but I'm nowhere near where they are right now, okay? So I need someone with a little bit more skill. So I think I would have tried to go for Acid Betty because, I'm just a super huge fan of Acid Betty, and I have been since season 8. But yeah, same reason for same people, but different reasoning, because I need someone who can sew. All right, especially when we find out they're being judged as teams. I'm like, oh, now we want to judge them as teams. But I'm be quiet. You know how I'm just glad they did it this time, because I'm always been judge at the work as a team, judge as a team. But anyway, the queens start getting their outfits together, and RuPaul comes in for the walk-in. Everyone gets their little moment with Ru. We get to hear about.
I love this green.
Oh, this suit?
Yes. I love this green. My favorite outfit from the Cowboy Carter tour so far has been Beyonce's green suit that she wears during Projector.
Oh, Protector. Okay. Protector.
Yeah, because it sounds like she's saying Projector. And I'm like, why?
I'll be
but it makes sense at the same time. I'll be a projector. And I'm like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. You're reflecting my vision back at me. I get it. But Protector makes a lot more sense.
But yeah.
But I get Projector.
Now this makes sense, wherein this is given one short day in the Emerald City. It's given very much that. But yeah, we get to see the walkthroughs. We hear a little bit about Cuckoo's health struggles that she's had over the years. And I'm just so happy to see that she's still able to come up and perform and have a good time. So, while they're getting ready, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande walks in. And when I tell you, I would have been no good if that was me. I would have been no good. And then I'll be mad. What do you mean I have a half face of makeup on and now I have to talk to... Wait till it's fully on or it's not on at all. What do you mean halfway through they want to walk in? No. No.
Because I'm not going to be no good afterwards. I'm going to be shaking.
I probably would have threw up. I'm not going to lie to you. I probably would have threw up if they would have walked in. I would be like, oh my God, it's them. Oh my God, I love y'all so much. Which I need to go ahead and
I
listen
love
to.
that this is. I love how we got two different Ariana Grandes on her visits, because we got, one Ariana Grande, she showed up on, what season was that? 12?
7.
No. 7.
She showed up on 7, and then she showed up again on 15.
Yes. And then we get one here, because everybody says that she's been this whole time, and now all of a sudden she's this whole time.
Listen, I wouldn't be able to form sentences while trying to. I'm like,
I'd have just stared. I'd have just been like, "Hi,"
because I would have tried to talk and be like, I know, yeah.
Look, I'm not even gonna lie, because when we go to DragCon and I get in front of those queens, I get really nervous, because I have like ADHD thoughts going through my head, because I really want to be like, I'm your biggest fan, I love you so much, I really enjoyed your season, and I don't know how I made it through the first DragCon, because the first DragCon I was really, really nervous.
Oh, it was worse the first DragCon for me, because same thing was happening. I was getting tongue-tied a lot. The second go-around, it happened a few times. Like, when I met Lawrence Chaney, I got really tongue-tied. I'm like, I love you, UK hun, yay.
No, I think, like, by the time I got to meet Queen Kong and Jada Essence, good, and I could have like an actual conversation with them. But for some weird reason, when we went to this second one and I was up there with Jada Essence Hall, I was just like, I love you so much. Hi, do you remember me? Did you remember that you said I was part of your family and that I had to come and see you every time I was there? You don't remember? Oh no. And then my heart just broke, and it was like, oh my God, wait, but Mom, but you said Mom, but Mom. And I'm like, but Queen remembered me. But then I'm like, but I communicate with Queen all the time.
Yeah.
I have to say hi to her. I have not said hi to her, but that's mostly because I'm not on Instagram like that.
Me neither. And I know she was in Texas this week, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I would have known sooner.
Facts.
Because I think she was in the Dallas area. I don't think she was in Dallas, but I think she was near Dallas. And I'm like, ugh. But yeah, the best conversation I had with any of them had to been our first go around, and it was with Kitty Scott Claus. You were there. Like, that conversation was everything. Oh, it was probably, like I said, it was the best interaction I had with any of the queens. Like, that was such a fun conversation to have. Oh, and Anita Wiglet.
Anita Wiglet was a good one.
Her and Anita.
Ocean,
Jada Shada, both of them were hilarious.
Yes, hilarious. And like, it made me feel so good that Oceania actually remembered who I was, because she was like, oh my God. It's like, huh? She was like, yeah, girl. We just sat there and kiki for a little bit, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to remember, like, what made me, I think, like, the first year was just the fact that this other queen that we had been in communication with for so long had such a hard time, so that by the time she met me, she was just so down in the dumps.
And yeah, I saw her before all that happened the day before, and it was a much more positive run.
And you had such a positive, like, interaction with her, and she was just so like, yeah, thank you so much for coming. I know we've been communicating along. Thank you so much for your support. And then it was just like, okay, now go. And I was just like, oh, okay. It's not like I haven't been sitting here waiting for you for 2.5 days, but all right.
But yes, we have the beautiful Cynthia Erivo, Lord, and Ariana Grande here. Everyone freaks out.
Oh my God, I saw a TikTok where they were trying to get her to say her full fluffing name.
Oh, what's her full name? I'm at the
Oh my gosh.
I'll look it up later.
Because it's Cynthia something, and like, ironically enough, the only one I caught was like Ascension Nikuwu something something Arrivo. And I was like, I know one of those, and that's just because I have I've had two Nigerian children in my classrooms, and their middle names were Ifanchiku and Ifanchikuwu.
I've been seeing clips of the podcast that she did with Drew. I can't remember Drew's last name. I need to watch that full one because Cynthia Erivo comes off so personable during that interview, and I'm like, it's like it's making me love her more. I'm like, wait a minute, I already loved you, but now just hearing you tell some stories, I'm like, oh, I love you more. I love you more
because she did the Terrell show again.
Yes, I need to finish that. I started it. I need to finish it. Well, I watched part 1. I need to watch part 2.
And then 3. She did. Oh, I'm having a hot flash. And then she did. She did that one. She did one with this little white dude, and the little white dude was like, "How do you say your name?" And she was like, "Cynthia Erivo." And he was like, "No." He was like, "But you're so good with that." And she was like, "Well, sometimes people mispronounce that name too." And he was like, "No, I mean like your." He was like, "Oh, my whole name." She was like, "Yeah." And then she went and she rattled it off, and he was like, "Wow." And she was like, "Yeah, thank you. Not a lot of people ask me that."
I need to get onto her album because her song Replay, I was bumping now. I'm like, hey, Replay. But now that the album's out, I need to go listen to the full thing, okay?
I wish I had the money to get some stuff.
And my thing is, I didn't realize I was a fan of Cynthia before I knew who Cynthia truly was. Because when I was working at Sefco many, many years ago, my little sister was still in high school. One of my sisters was still in high school. And I would hear her get ready every morning. And there was this movie, I think it's called Beyond the Lights. I think it was called Beyond the Lights. It reminded me very much of like Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Well, one of the songs on there is called Fly Before You Fall. She sings it. And that was the song my sister would play pretty much every morning. So then it got stuck in my head. It's been on my playlist for years. I just always saw the name Cynthia Erivo. I didn't really know who she was. And now here she is all these years later. And I'm like, I love it. But yeah, we were yapping a lot there. Let's move onwards. Everyone's freaking out, as they should.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. Ginger Minge is in tears.
Girl, hey! Like this is an everyday thing.
Listen, Ginger Minge was in tears, and that's probably would have been me. That probably would have been me, just crying, trying to get a sentence out. Like, I love both of you.
I'm broke. I can't. I wish, but I can't. Right. How do you get your voice that clear? I can't do it.
Oh my god. But now, let's calm down. They also surprised them by coming in through the mirrors. I thought that was cute as well.
Yes.
So let's get to the main stage. And up first we have Mother RuPaul. What did you think of RuPaul's look this week? And your score?
I'm not even gonna lie. This is not my favorite look for her. She looked like she was wrapped in like wrapping paper, saran wrap, Valentine's Day cellophane.
And your score?
Then on top of that, it looks too big for her. She looks like she's just floating like a hand witch. Mm-hmm. This gets a D from me. I'm sorry, I didn't like it.
So when she first came out...
it's a no for me, dog.
Oof. When she first came out, I'm like, oh, okay, classic silhouette. Then she got closer. And I'm like, I know them ain't polka dots. I know them ain't polka dots. Oh, you know I don't like the polka dots. The wig is too far back. The polka dots. We have a classic silhouette. And because of the classic silhouette, that's what gives it a D. But everything else, Like, I'm sick of looking at these polka dots. Alright, so this week we're joined by Michelle Visage, Law Roach, and our extra special guest judges, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. So now, let's hit the runway. The category is Good Witch and Wicked Witch. Up first, we have Ginger Minj and Daya Betty. What did you think of Ginger Minj and Daya, and what are their scores?
I'm not too sure on Ginger Minj's outfit. I understand where she was coming from, but it still seems rather dark to me. I like Daya Betty's outfit. I'm not sure it conveys the wind like she's trying to make it seem, but they matched. And the only thing that differentiated the fact that one was good and one was evil was like construction and mannerisms. But on top of that, they had the most cohesive story as far as the challenge was concerned, and they were the closest to actually like giving what the challenge was supposed to give. So for that challenge as a whole, they get a B plus. Ginger's outfit is very well constructed, but is not quite the assignment to me, so it gets a C plus. Daya's is the assignment, so she gets an A. So that was 3 different grades, but still.
you more than fine. You could do it however you please. For me, this was... Their looks were okay. Their story was good. Would I say it? I don't think it was my favorite story, but it was better than others. For me, I look... Because, there's 2 parts to this challenge. You gotta sell the story, and you gotta make a look. For me, the look weighs more than the story, because this is a design challenge at the end of the day. So I feel like the looks should have been held to a higher standard than the story. This story was great. Their looks were okay. Daya Betty's, I was expecting a little bit more. And I'm shocked Michelle didn't clock that is a leotard and a coat. But then again, the coat is impressive. A lot of people can't make coats, so I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to get there, though. And then Ginger's, I agree. I didn't particularly care for Ginger's look at all. So Daya Betty will get a B plus. Ginger Minj will get a D. But their story I thought was cute. Gets an A minus. So up next we have Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Alyssa Hunter. So Alyssa, A plus down. This look was everything. You're everything to me. This look was everything. I loved it. Cynthia, I will have to give her like a B. It really hurts my feelings that gown doesn't touch the floor. I'm like, I need it to touch the floor. But it doesn't really give... I believe she was supposed to be water, correct? Did she say she was water?
No, that was Ginger Minj and Daya Betty.
Ginger Minj was water and wind. They were fire and... I don't remember because I know that Acid and Denali were fire and ice, but I know they were fire and something else. Matter of fact, I'll look it up when you start speaking, but I'll have to give Cynthia like a B on hers. Their story was cute. I thought their story was real cute. I almost lost it when Cuckoo pulled out that sandal. I almost fell to the ground. That was so funny to me. So I would give their story a B plus. What did you think of Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Alyssa Hunter while I look up this information here?
I like Cynthia's, and I think maybe before she put the heels on, it might have touched the floor. And then like once she put the shoes on, she was like, "Oh shit, dang it." They both get A pluses for construction. The story, knowing what their story was supposed to be, which is, like bad niece, good auntie trying to get the niece to do the right thing, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do the accidentally hit 11 on the page, and I saw some of the rumored cast. I was like, woo! I'm gonna need 11 to come now that I saw one name. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry. Let me go to 10.
yeah. But yeah, like I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. It didn't come across like it was supposed to. So the story gets like a C from me. Alyssa's outfit gets an A, and Cynthia's gets an A minus.
Gotcha.
Just needed like 3 more inches.
So up next we have Denali and Acid Betty, Fire and Ice. Now I'll have to say I like their story the best because it was presented like a production. You know, Acid came in with that classic like movie beginning that gets your attention right away. And I didn't know how they were going to include the coffee into it. But once it got there, I'm like, oh, that's cute. A little different, but I like it. So for their story, it gets an A. For their looks, they both get A's as well. I thought Denali looked stunning here. I didn't see the padding until Michelle mentioned it, and then they zoomed in on it. So I didn't see it through my initial look. I'm not marking her off for that because she looks stunning. Even during deliberation when she turned around, I didn't see, the lines where the paddings were. So I think they found a bad angle and zoomed in on her. And Acid Betty, I really enjoyed the draping. I know Law wasn't a big fan of it, but it gave it, a little flow when Acid walked. So I was like, I give them both an A and their story an A. Denali needed a necklace. What did you think of these two?
To me, like in all honesty, if I'm going for good witch, bad witch, they gave the most good witch, bad witch. At least classically in my mind, what I would consider a good witch, bad witch. I love Denali's outfit. I did see all the cardboard, but you're giving these people less than 12 hours to construct some things and throw them together. What the hell do you expect? So I didn't mind seeing the cardboard. It is what it is. They wanted construction. They wanted some structured tops. That was the most structured you were gonna get. You didn't give them any room for padding or any kind of batting for padding. So what the heck? As far as her pads were concerned, I didn't see her pads. She looked pretty dang good to me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Even when they did the close-up on it and they were like, yeah, her padding, and I'm like, I think Michelle's just being a hater at this point.
Honestly, I think she just had a bad angle and just zoomed straight into it and be like, look, and I'm like, okay, that was a bad angle because when she walked the runway, even when she turned around during the deliberations, I didn't see anything wrong with the padding. I didn't see no lines. So
I didn't either. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I didn't see any lines. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, and the thing is like, you're looking at pictures. They come, they walk the runway, they videotape it, they pause it, they take screenshots, whatever. You're sitting here and you're looking the construction up close because you have these pictures where you can get this still shot and be like, see, right there, right right there. Look. Okay, sorry, went into Legally Blonde territory.
I was gonna let you have it.
The Taylor Scape is in. Okay, anyways, happy Pride, y'all. Is a gay or European? Anyways.
What is your score for these ladies, honey?
They both get A's from me. Their story gets an A minus. Like, it was good. It was a little bit of a reach, but it was still good.
It was a reach, but I see how they got there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let it slide.
I'm seeing the work. It's kind of like how I'm teaching these kids to solve math problems.
I'm gonna say I see the
how-
leap you took, but that's okay. I'm gonna catch you. I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I see the work you put in.
So, out of all these amazing queens, who had your favorite individual look?
Denali.
My favorite individual look would have to be Alyssa Hunter. She just, ugh. But as a pair, I would have to say Denali and Acid was my favorite. What about you?
Same.
So, let's talk about probably the most chaotic deliberation we've ever gotten.
I love how Ariana, because for the most part, Ariana was still in her Glinda mode, and she's like, yes, yes, yes. And then at some point in time, she snapped out of it like Cher, snapped out of it, and was like, no, because da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I was like, tell her, Ariana. Oh my God.
I just love how comfortable that Ariana and Cynthia were this whole episode. Like, you would think they were regular judges every week. How comfortable they were, how fun, how they were volleying back and forth with the queens, with Rue, with Law, with everybody.
You can tell that they are fans of the show.
And you could tell, I love when theater kids come up in here. Because you could all, you know when a theater kid is there, they're having a great time. And like you said, you could tell they're fans of the show. And I even got screenshots of them lip singing along to ASMR Lover. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all know RuPaul's best song ever?
I love that. Like, I had to sit there, I watched it, and then when the show was over, I was like,
oh, I watch the credits every time just so I can hear the song. You make me feel whisper in my ear. Hey. But anyway, I enjoyed this chaotic deliberation. I want more chaotic deliberations. It got to the point where Michelle revealed the iPad that I don't think we were technically supposed to know about, but now we do. Oh, are you okay, honey?
Yeah. Did I freeze?
No, I thought I heard like your phone going off. I was like, oh, did somebody call you?
No. My friend is disposed at the moment. Gotcha. Pretty much, probably like hosting family because that situation is taking place here in the States and not overseas. Mm-hmm. And then the other person that we would have a conversation about has not called. They hung up in my face. So.
Got you. But yeah, Michelle even pulled out the iPad that we knew but didn't know, but now we know for sure that they have them. Because queens always say, oh, they got iPads out there. But now we know for sure because Michelle was like, do you not see this? Like you said earlier, see, I zoomed in.
And to me, I'm like, that is a stretch because you're zooming in. How fair is that to sit there? Because we're not seeing that. They're not zooming in that close for us.
Even Law said he didn't even see the padding when Denali turned around. So I'm like, Michelle, you are reaching. Michelle, you are reaching, honey. But that's all right. We still love you. So, RuPaul decided that the top 2 of the week was Diabetes and Ginger Minge. Do you agree?
Yeah, for the most part.
I'm not opposed to it, but to me, it should have been Acid Betty and Denali. I feel like they cohesively done the best in every aspect of the challenge that they were asked for. But they didn't do bad, so I'm not gonna sit here and holler it was rigged. But I am gonna look sideways. I'm like, okay, y'all, don't play my girl Acid Betty face. She's waited too long to get here. Okay. But if I was in RuPaul's seat, it would have been Denali and Acid Betty who would have been the top 2 all-stars of the week. So we find out that this week's lip sync song is Defying Gravity from the original Broadway cast recording by Indina Menzel and the one part of Kristen Chenoweth that they showed in this lip sync. It's just, I hope you're happy. I'm like, okay. But when RuPaul said Defying Gravity, I almost fell out my couch. I had been waiting because I just thought it was going to be like an Ariana Grande song. if they want to be cool, do a Cynthia Erivo song from anything that she's done. But when RuPaul said Defying Gravity, I'm like, oh, we got money.
Well, I mean, it's good promo.
Yeah, because Wicked for Good is coming up soon.
And I think when they filmed this, it was just Wicked, and then they kept doing voiceovers so that it would say Wicked for
you
Good.
caught the voiceovers for the Wicked for Good? Because I think they were just saying Wicked Part 2.
Off of.
Yeah, I feel like they were just saying, oh, for Wicked Part 2 before anybody knew that it was going to be called Wicked for Good. Yeah, and my thing is, clearly they shot this in the summer last year. I would have think they would have had the soundtrack recorded by then. Maybe they didn't, but because they sang live.
They did.
They sang live, yeah. So I'm like, you could have had the Cynthia Erivo version. We got Katie's Women's World at the beginning of this season, and it came out, the way it did. Shoot, they could have did it, but that's okay. I love me some Idina Menzel as well. Her version will always hold a place in my heart. But yeah, so I hope they do more Broadway songs, especially like during musical episodes where it will make sense to do a song from Broadway. Like Drag Race UK does.
I need somebody to do like Rose's turn.
Yes.
Did you see that at the Tonys?
I watched the Tonys live. Like, I love it. I loved her interpretation of it, especially when people, because it's been so long since I've seen Gypsy, that they were explaining, she's supposed to be having a mental breakdown during that song, and I'm like, that makes so much sense on why Audrey decided to portray it the way she did, because that was a mental breakdown.
Right.
And I'm like, that was beautiful. I'm like, she could have sang it, and hit all the notes and yada yada, but she was really portraying that, Rose was losing her mind in that exact moment. She's lost everything at that moment, and she's like, fuck it.
Right. No, and then, like, you gotta think about it, because every person who's ever played those parts, they've always been
white. Yeah.
Right. And so, of course, the way that they're doing it is they're like, oh, we're going to fight in determination. I sat there and I watched the Bette Midler version, like after watching Audra McDonald, watching Patti LuPone's version, just so I could sit here and mentally like compare. And then a lot of what I was hearing on TikTok was, that they're coming at it from two different perspectives. You have white people who have white privilege who are walking around in these places and these stages and these things.
And you also got to remember, this is the 1930s as well.
Yeah, and this is the 30s, and so they have those privileges, and you can make your way just a little bit easier. So if your mental breakdown just happens to be a little bit brighter, then yeah, you can sit there and for me and hit those big notes. But this is a black woman, and you're coming at it from a black perspective, and you're sitting here, and at that time we still had sharecropping. If you come from the right place in the South, there was technically still slavery going on.
Yeah.
There were people who did not know that they were free, and were sitting here working for years and decades, well into the 50s and 60s. They had no clue what was going on around them. They were isolated. So you have somebody who is in this modern day beloved version of this story now. You have this black woman who's trying to find someone to make it, and yeah, maybe she was trying to be a star, but at the same time it's like, okay, so I've made my youngest a star, and she ran off and left me because, oh, I was just baggage, and she felt like I was holding her back. And now I have this other one, and yeah, I've kind of, you know, fancied her at this point, you know, on my Reba McEntire type situation, where I've kind of sold her to the streets, you know, and now she's gotten a little taste of fame and she's allowed to be in rooms and the third. So now what's happening to me? How am I going to live?
When is it my turn?
Yeah, when is it going to be my turn? Not necessarily to be famous, but to be allowed in spaces, to be in those rooms where it happened. Da 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 da.
Oh, could you imagine really if Drag Race got the rights to like maybe like the Skylar Sisters or Unsatisfied for a lip sync?
Oh, Satisfied would be so good.
Oh, baby, that's when we really gotta pay attention. All right, who knows it? Come on, I'm watching.
Okay,
I'm watching. Who knows it?
Oh my god! Yep, because that's when you like, no, take it down, down.
I need to see the lips.
No, I need you to do
a Coco Montrese and point at your lips. I need to know you know every word.
Yeah.
Every word. Okay.
I'm seeing the lights, man. Frank would have canned the kite. You see it, right?
Oh my goodness.
It's a bit of a dance. Okay, anyways.
So what do we think of the Defying Gravity lip sync between Daya and Ginger?
For the version that it was, because
I felt like they cut off some of the good middle parts before they got to the end. Yeah.
I've gotten so used to Cynthia's, you know, blessed version.
And side note, we know for a fact, and I'm not sure in this case if they did, but most of the time they lip sync to the full song and then they edit it down. Unless the song's already like 5-6 minute song, then Drag Race will already edit it down for them to learn. This song typically is pretty long by itself. So I'm wondering, was this the version they were given? Or did they edit this version down to be this? Because if you edit it down to be this, I need to see the full thing.
Facts.
I'm not trying to be funny, but we can cut some of the deliberations to where we can get the full lip sync of the whole song. But anyway, continue your thoughts, friend. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. No, but I'm like, okay, the opposition of these two versions, and I'm like, okay, I can't look at it through the Cynthia Erivo been in for the last 5 or 6 months. I gotta look at it.
I had to catch myself when I was singing along. I'm like, oh no, I'm adding the extra isms that Cynthia do. I'm like, no.
Right. No. Because now that's just natural. I mean, considering the fact that they were like, yeah, so when we rewrite the musical, because they're gonna rewrite add half of the crap that was in the movie.
Yeah, I heard that they really want to add the extra bit that Ariana does in Popular at the end.
Yep, the extra la la.
Mm-hmm. When she gets all high up in that note. Mm-hmm. You'll be popular. Just Popular would be a fun lip sync.
Oh.
Anyway, back to Ginger and Daya. We're getting sidetracked.
Anyways, taking off the Cynthia Erivo lens and looking at the Idina Menzel lens, considering the fact that Adina's version is, again, so much brighter. And brighter means upbeat, and it's higher and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, they did okay, but I don't really feel like either one of them really served what needed to be served in that moment.
I just want to give props to Daya for not changing. She was like, no, what I created was good enough.
Right.
I love how like both Cynthia and Ariana were just really into it, and to the point where Ariana was in tears at one point. I'm like, and that's what really makes me I want to see the full cut. I want to see the full thing, because if you got Ariana to start crying, I want to feel some of that emotion too. Because once I feel it, like I'm fully into it, you cut to a different part of the song. I'm like, oh wait, okay, my brain now has to catch up to that part because my brain is so used to going from this part to that part and that part.
Right.
But overall, I thought they both did a good job. I like the different takes that they took on it. Me personally, I feel like this would have been the one if you wanted to pull a double win on and just have them split the point.
Yeah.
I would have been more okay with this go around of them splitting the point. But when the lip sync was over, Mother Rue decided that Ginger Minj was the winner, and she received an extra point and a cash tip of $10,000. Now, do you agree with Ginger winning this lip sync?
I think you went to Daya more. I would have gave it to Daya, honestly. I think Daya.
Me personally, I would have just said they both won, split the point. Let's move on. But yeah, but if I was there, it would have been Acid Betty and Denali doing this lip sync. But yes, now the eliminated queens have to come up and they learn what the most valuable queen points are. They're going to receive one. They can't keep it. They got to give it to someone else.
Now, I don't know if they understood that they got to just give it to somebody else, to the two queens that were in the lead.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll find out next week. Maybe the producers came afterwards like, hey, it looked like y'all didn't fully understand. This is what y'all are doing.
Right, because I'm like, a lot of them were confused. At least they looked confused because they were like, I have to do what? I gotta do what?
But they danced the night away, and both Cynthia and Ariana were lip syncing along to ASMR Lover. Let me find out that's on y'all's playlist. And that's it. So next week they will be doing a girl group challenge, a country girl group challenge, and our extra special guest judge is going to be Orville Peck again. You know, Orville's here pretty much every season. Yeah, pretty much every season now he pops up, and I love it.
Look, I just need Orville and his boyfriend just sprayed around.
Now, if y'all haven't listened to his latest album, My God Upon Heaven, if you love country music, go ahead and listen to it. Because that was a good old time, alright? I think there was only like 2 songs I was like, nah. It was so good I bought the vinyl. Now my vinyls aren't in here, but I bought the vinyl. That's how much I love that album. But yes, so we got that's the Sims. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay. So, back here. But yeah, good episode. A good start to the new bracket. Stop sending hate to Ginger Minj. My goodness.
What? Hate on Ginger Minj.
I don't know. To be honest with you, people are miserable and they have to put it off on someone else. Like, even if I don't like a queen, I'm not finna just go up to her DMs and her comments talking about, you shouldn't be on Drag Race. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Girl. And then they're saying, they're rigging it for Ginger to win. She still did a good job.
Right.
I wouldn't have picked her to win, but I'm not going to sit here and holler it was rigged because they had a really good story. So to RuPaul, I guess the story mattered more than the actual design. But at the end of the day, it's RuPaul's decision. They keep hollering, it's the producer, it's the producer. You do forget. Y'all must forget that RuPaul produces this show. So yeah, it is the producer's choice. RuPaul's.
RuPaul and Michelle Visage.
My God. Let RuPaul do what
Let him live.
So far, I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to see who makes it through this bracket. Because I feel like just like with the second bracket, there's going to be some tomfoolery. Because we saw in the clip that Ginger and Diabetes were like, we're going to have to get things together quick. I'm like, uh-oh. But honey, that's all I got. Do you got anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, well then let's wrap this thing up here. Go ahead and tell the children where they can find you on the social medias.
You can find me at Christian McGill That's CRESHAMCGILL on all social media.
And you can find me in the club, pocket full of bud, mama. But if I'm not there, you can find me on all social media platforms at Simply Desmond. That's SIMPLYDESMOND. Thank you so much for spending a piece of your day with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye.